As you may already know, my name's Clare Baker and I'm a former clutterholic and borderline hoarder. I successfully cleared all my clutter over 20 years ago without the need for an expensive home visit, and I've been helping people around the world do exactly the same ever since, so that they too can know what it's like to live a completely clutter-free life forever. Now, it's important to me that you know that you're not alone with your experiences and challenges. Those of us who struggle with clutter rarely have supportive friends and family. You don't understand why you struggle with your clutter. Our friends and family don't understand why we struggle with our clutter. And the frustration that no one understands why we struggle with our clutter can often lead to World War III. So I like to share my experiences to help fellow clutterholics and hoarders and their friends and family to illustrate some of the thoughts, feelings, and experiences that we have when we struggle with our clutter. In this video, I'm going to share with you how, for me and for many, clearing my clutter was about more than just the physical things that you can see. Clearing your clutter isn't just about clearing your physical clutter that you can see in your home. For many, their 7-step journey also involves clearing their mental, emotional, financial, social, family, relationship, vocational, even spiritual clutter. Our journey requires us to start to acknowledge and accept all the invisible life clutter. If we don't, we'll never become completely clutter-free forever. It's why it's so important to go at your own comfortable pace when you're on your 7-step journey. Many of us know deep down that we have other life clutter that we may also need to deal with, but it's easier to focus on the visible, physical clutter instead. We've been in denial for so long that there are other types of clutter in our life. It's now a habit to actively avoid it. Life clutter is uncomfortable and unwanted clutter that we don't want to acknowledge, much less deal with, make decisions about, and potentially let go of. The thought of moving on without it can be terrifying. Ironically, although we all resist accepting how long it's going to take us to clear our physical clutter, life clutter can often take longer to deal with and often requires the help of a therapist or counselor to work through. For me, when I had my clutter challenge, my therapist became an essential tool on my clutter clearing journey to help me deal with all my hidden life clutter when it appeared. In fact, it's an ongoing process, and I still see one from time to time when I find another piece of clutter that I need help to understand or deal with. For me personally, my emotional, family, and relationship clutter were the most painful to face, accept, and make decisions about. I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to do it in the public glare, like Harry and Meghan are having to do. Can't imagine. It was hard enough to do it in private. When I started my clutter clearing journey, I didn't realize that the most difficult clutter to process and make decisions about would be my emotional, family, and relationship clutter. I had to decide what value it added to my life, whether it would help me live my best life, and if it was actually safer for me to let go. I make no secret of the fact that I'm estranged from my parents because it was safer for me to let go than to hold on. Despite what people think, family estrangement, or family relationship clutter clearing, as I call it, has similarities to the clutter clearing process. The family member who decides that it's better for their mental and emotional health not to have their family in their lives, the estranger, has usually had that family relationship clutter for decades and maybe even their whole lives without knowing it. It's usually toxic clutter and has been buried deep under other clutter for many, many years. No one becomes estranged from their family on a whim or overnight. It is rarely a result of one specific incident, and it usually comes after multiple attempts by the estranger to try to find coping mechanisms to keep their family in their lives due to the cultural, social, and family expectations. When they start to face it, as they clear their clutter, they put that toxic family relationship clutter in the not sure category, thus ensuring they don't make an instant rash decision that they might later regret. While that is in the not sure category, the estranger lives in hope that the family will notice and want to fix the relationship. They usually return to that family relationship clutter multiple times, hoping that it will somehow magically change and improve. Maybe they're told by the family that there's nothing wrong or they're overreacting. They question and doubt themselves constantly. They feel they should find a way to cope with the family clutter because this is just normal family behavior, isn't it? Finally, they have to accept that things only change when both parties acknowledge things are broken, need to change, and both sides start to work on doing the doing to fix it. For me, I tried time and time again to find ways to cope with and deal with my family relationship clutter. I didn't want to fail, but my family didn't acknowledge the clutter or want to work on it. One thing I tried was suggesting that we have a monthly family day to make happy memories. I called them Draper Days because that was my maiden name and the family name. The idea was really simple. On the first Saturday of every month, we would take it in turns to decide what we wanted to do as a family and spend the day making happy family memories. We did lots of simple, inexpensive things such as country walks, picnics in places that I had a specific memory. We even did a simple drive around Hayes, Middlesex in London, seeing the houses that my parents grew up in and hearing the stories of their family and childhood. We also did more traditional days out, such as theme parks, museums, day trips to London. Draper Days worked well to begin with, but they slowly started to fizzle out and turned into short lunches at different pubs or restaurants, talking about day-to-day things, and old relationship clutter habits started to creep back in. People started to say that they had other, more important things to do on Draper Day. Draper Days were no longer sacred, and eventually they fizzled out completely. Clearing your clutter is about accepting that your needs, hopes, dreams, and future really are just as important as other people's if you want to live your best life. As selfish as it feels, we are only going to live our best life if we do just that, live our best life for us. We can justify keeping everything in our clutter. Yet we have to learn to accept what's clutter and learn that it's okay to let go. Sometimes holding on does more damage than letting go. For me personally, finally letting go of my family relationship clutter forever was the hardest decision I have ever made. Yet I wish I'd done it sooner. Whatever other people may think and the assumptions I'm sure people and other members of the extended family make about what happened between me and my parents, ironically, all without asking me why or hearing my side of the story. Clearing my family relationship clutter was the right thing for me so that I could start living my best life. I no longer feel the need to justify the decisions I made to let go or explain the 1001 separate events that led up to me finally letting go forever. Clearing your clutter is about more than just learning how to make decisions about the things in your physical clutter. It's about learning to take ownership of your life, deciding how you want your best life to be, putting your needs first for a change, deciding who you want and trust to share that best life with, and having the courage to make that dream a reality by clearing all your clutter. If you're ready to clear your clutter forever, click on the link with this video and start your 7-step clutter clearing journey.